The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, a new school year begins in Fall River. A local school is recognized for lowering its rate of student absenteeism, and the city is working on how to legally handle homeless encampments. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, August 29th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Schools across Fall River opened this week for the 2024-2025 academic year. We had the chance to experience the buzz of opening day at the Doran Community School, where Principal Jason Souza said the new year brings great potential for student success.
Super exciting. My second year here. Used to be here as a vice principal, here second year as a principal. Thrilled. I mean, it's a great model. I get to see the young students grow into, teenagers. Great experience, high expectations. We're ready to go. We had a popsicle social yesterday. Was very well received. A lot of students here, very excited to come back with the smiles. They seem happy. We're ready to go, and it's just going to be a great year.
Mary Coogan was also at Doran with 30 years experience working in the Fall River school system. He says opening day is always special.
Best part is seeing the kids. I mean, it's like everybody, you're excited the first day and you want to get into your classes, meet your classmates, meet your teachers, grab a lunch, see where your locker is. It's a lot of excitement the first day of school for the kid. A lot of anticipation and a lot of nervousness, but they all smile and they are all ready to go. And like I said, I hope we're off to a good year. We got a new superintendent, and I think she's hit the ground running. A lot of school renovations this summer, so let's see how it all comes together. Our enrollment's up. A lot of kids in the district this year. A lot of new staff. A lot of new excitement, and we're off and running on lovely Wednesday, whatever the date is, I don't know, Keith, but we're ready to go.
There were some unknowns for two city schools prior to opening day. The school committee held a special meeting this week for an update on the remediation of mold found in those two schools. Toward the end of last year, there were complaints of mold found in classrooms in the Laterno and Green elementary schools. The district has been working all summer long to remove the mold in time for opening day. Ceiling tile sections and drywall have been replaced where there was evidence of mold. Certified industrial hygienist Philip Terrell was hired to test air quality and supervise abatement measures to ensure students and teachers return to a safe environment. He told the committee that activity was sufficient to open the schools as scheduled.
The main thing that we wanted to do when I was visiting both schools was to go through the recommendations and see if they were completed. And I went room by room and looked at all the recommendations. And most everything was done the way that I wanted to, but not everything. So we made a list, and those things got done in the last couple of days. So as far as the inspections went, that was a very satisfactory and productive activity. And that's about 90% of what you hope to accomplish with something like this. I feel tremendous progress has been made, but we're not completely done. I don't feel that anyone is acting in bad faith, and I don't feel that there are any problems that would prevent students and teachers from occupying those rooms. But I do suggest that we keep working on this, that we're not there yet.
Even though school has started, remediation work will continue at those schools through the end of the week. The construction has negatively impacted teachers' ability to prepare for the new year.
We were told that all ceiling tiles should have been replaced and all pipes all the work in each classroom had to be 100% finished before that classroom was cleared. I can't set up my room for my babies because there's a tent in my room. I have no sink. I have no counter. I have no cabinet. You can see through the walls. School starts tomorrow, and I know my babies don't come until Tuesday, but still, we're going to have students in these buildings. How are these things going to be rectified? How is my classroom going to be ready for my kids on Monday or Tuesday?
Ongoing work will include the examination of each school's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system to guard against the return of those mold spores. One city school has been recognized by the state as being an attendance all-star. Last year, the Tansey Elementary School was at the top of the list in reducing chronic absenteeism, which is defined as students who miss 18 or more days of school during one academic year. Massachusetts Secretary of Education Patrick Tutwiler was on hand to celebrate the achievement with Tansey students and teachers during its ice cream social Tuesday afternoon.
You're one of 10 schools in the entire state that's considered an attendance all-star. Also, what does that mean? It means that everyone here, all the families, the caregivers, people like Miss G, who I had the pleasure of meeting, all the teachers here, everybody, including the students, focused on getting to school each and every day. And let me tell you something, it paid off. Tansey's absenteeism rate dropped 20% from the previous year. 20% drop. When you're not at school, you miss out. Miss school, miss out, right? And there's so much that happens here. All the counselors are here, the teachers, the friends, the extracurricular activities. It's important to be in school. Your presence is powerful. I'll say it again, students, your presence is powerful.
Superintendent of Schools Dr. Tracy Curley said the district is making strides in reducing absenteeism at all city schools.
Chronic absenteeism is something that we care deeply about in Fall River in terms of turning the tides. It's what we talk about when we talk about kids missing 18 days or more of school. But thanks to your hard work, the hard work of so many people that are here, Fall River Public Schools is turning things around. And in just 1 year, we've been able to lower our rate of chronic absenteeism by 8 points. And that is huge, huge for the whole city. Tansey with some of the lower chronic absenteeism rates in the district and some of the highest growth, which is the highest decrease in chronic absenteeism across the state.
4 city schools are the beneficiaries of free school supplies through the United Way of Greater Fall River's Teacher's Closet.
Whether it's necessary or not, teachers are very giving and loving people, and when a kid is in need, they take from their pocket and they give to the kid, right? They do whatever it takes to make sure that the kids have what they need. We're going to adopt 8 schools. And each sponsor provided support of $1,000 because the idea is to keep this sustainable. And so as we did that, we're like, okay, are we going to meet this goal? And it doesn't, maybe sound like a lofty goal, but every goal has targets, right? We not only met the goal, we exceeded the goal. So we are adopting 11 schools with Teachers Closet.
At least one school was chosen from each of the United Way's communities within its service area in Greater Fall River. The winning schools were paired with a local sponsor that provided funds for the program. Schools will be able to customize its supply order based on its individual needs.
There's tons of community back-to-school drives that are happening throughout the summertime, which are so wonderful, and we really wanted to complement those efforts. So we decided to look for items that were more in the lines of learning manipulatives, sensory items, social emotional learning tools, as that's becoming more prioritized and integrated within curriculums throughout the school districts. So that's how we started to create our list.
The Atlantis Charter School, the Laterno Elementary School, the Westall Elementary School, and the Robert Medeiros Resiliency Preparatory Academy are the Fall River schools selected to be part of the program.
Our pays kids who are underserved for most of the time, but we do have really dedicated staff and teachers. I purposely brought my whole admin team down here just to show our teachers when they see it that we care about them. We want them to have the opportunity to get supplies into their hands so they can get them into our kids' hands. So really this community-based partnerships are great for both of us.
to realize how dedicated the Fall River educators are, and they really do use a lot of their own funding and sources sometimes, no matter what. As much as we say we have the supplies, we'll make sure we get it, they just go above and beyond. So having a community partner that's going above and beyond to alleviate some of those extra stresses, and like Principal Riley said, to alleviate some of the family stresses of it's okay if sometimes you can't afford something. We will make sure no matter where you're coming from, we're going to take care of you.
The goal of the Teacher's Closet is to be sustainable by meeting the supply needs of the 11 schools within the program throughout the entire school year. The Fall River City Council will discuss an ordinance at its next meeting to curb illegal encampments throughout the city. The Council's Committee on Ordinances and Legislation voted unanimously to enact a measure to give the city the authority to break up unauthorized campsites. A recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling clarified that a community can take reasonable action to remove homeless residents sleeping outdoors. Homeless encampments have become a growing issue here in Fall River, and before the court's ruling, the city could not remove individuals from encampments without providing shelter. City Corporation Counsel Alan Rumsey said the High Court ruling did allow for the creation of a local law, and although not perfect, it is a tool the city can use as a deterrent.
But the case law basically suggested is that you can't criminalize being homeless. And, you know, I think it started in LA before it got to the other places. But the idea that if there's nowhere else to go, where are they going to go? You know, not committing any of the crimes, they're not littering, they're not doing other things in public they shouldn't be doing, that you can't, it's inhumane to criminalize just existing, essentially. What the Supreme Court case recently said was that it's not cruel and unusual punishment to have to enforce these laws, but it didn't address other things that are still out there. So I think the premise is still out there, which is, you know, do we want to penalize somebody or fine them or charge them? If there's a place for them to go and they refuse, absolutely. I think most would agree. And a lot of the problems that we have is they refuse to go for whatever reason. Maybe it's the cohabitation rules or rules against cohabitation. Maybe it's against pets. Maybe it's because there's sobriety rules wherever they want to go.
If approved by the full council, the ordinance will allow the city to break up an encampment and confiscate materials associated with it. Those who are homeless must leave the premises and can take advantage of a local shelter bed if available or face a fine. The issuing of penalties will be at the discretion of the city officer who was there to break up that encampment. City Councilor Linda Pereira said moving the homeless away from encampments is a public safety issue, but one fraught with complexities.
There needs to be a whole team working on this to get people moving. Maybe if they have to move so much, they're gonna say, yes, get me to a treatment center, get me to, a shelter. Yes, I don't want to live like this anymore. And it's unfortunate because some people that have mental health issues, they can't live by themselves. And, years ago when they got rid of Paul Dever and got rid of people at Taunton State, you put all these people that had mental health issues that we don't like to talk about as a community, but you threw them back in the community and expected them to survive on their own, and they can't do it. It's not fair to treat a human like that. I have very mixed emotions about this. Because I know some people, yes, it's alcohol, it's drugs, it's, people who have been priced out of their apartments, but there's very few that have been priced out of their apartments that are living homeless. The biggest part is either mental health, drug, or alcohol abuse. And you got to get them to get the help, and they're only going to get the help if they hit rock bottom.
We have an update on the future of St. Anne's Hospital in Fall River. Governor Maura Healey has announced that Stewart Healthcare has agreed in principle to sell both St. Anne's Hospital and Morton Hospital in Taunton to Lifespan Corporation of Rhode Island. Both St. Anne's and Morton and 6 other community hospitals were in jeopardy of survival since Stewart announced its bankruptcy earlier this year. We'll be back with more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Tax Associate, H&R Block, located at 276 Central Street, is seeking a full-time tax associate, responsible for preparing, analyzing, and submitting tax documents for clients. Job number 213-51664. Bank Teller, Citizens Bank, located inside Stop and Shop at 333 Mariano Bishop Boulevard, is looking for a full-time bank teller responsible for providing efficient, effective, and courteous customer service while performing a variety of transactions. Job number 213-51278. Lead Systems Test Engineer, L3 Harris, located at 275 Martin Street, seeks a full-time Lead Systems Test Engineer to synthesize and define test processes for complex autonomous undersea vehicle systems. Job number 213-46478. Shift Leader, Dunkin' Donuts, located at 499 Globe Street, is looking for a full-time shift leader. For more information, call 508-672-9406. Gap Incorporated, located at 520 William S. Canning Boulevard, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Retail Sales Associate, job number 213-40549. Assistant Manager, job number 213-40550. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.tcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Courier Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The state primary is this Tuesday, September 3rd. Polls at all of Fall River's 27 precincts will open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m.
Regardless of the election, it's an election. Get out there and vote. You have multiple ways to be able to cast a ballot, whether you want to vote in person on Election Day, which for the state primary, it's Tuesday, September 3rd. For the state election, it's Tuesday, November 5th. You can also apply for a mail-in ballot. You can vote early in person during the 7 days before the state primary, and then we're going to have 14 consecutive days before the state election. Regardless, it's an election. Get out there and vote and make your voice heard. Period, end of sentence. I mean, for me, you never want to leave an election undecided. You never want to leave it to someone else to make a decision for you. It's an election. We have an obligation to make our voice heard as Americans. It's the greatest thing we have in our constitutional republic, our democracy. You want to get out there and participate in that. Why leave a decision to be made by someone else?
Here are what Fall River voters can expect to see on this year's primary ballot. In the Democratic primary, just about all the federal, state, and county races feature candidates running unopposed. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren is seeking another term, as is 4th District Congressman Jake Auchincloss. Joseph Pereira is looking to return as the region's governor's counsel. Senator Michael Rodrigues is seeking re-election in the state Senate, as are State Representatives Carol Fiola and Alan Sylvia in the Bristol 6th and 7th districts. 8th Bristol State Representative Paul Schmidt is retiring, and current Westport Selectman Steve Ouellette is seeking the Democratic nomination. There will be 3 unenrolled candidates running in November: Jesse St. Gelais, Laura Hadley, and Manuel Soares Jr. In county races, Jennifer Sullivan is looking to return as Clerk of Courts. The one contested race is for the seat of Fall River Register of Deeds. Incumbent Bernard J. McDonald is being challenged by former Swansea Selectman Christopher Carrero. There is no Republican running in the race, so the winner of this primary will be the presumptive winner. And finally, 2 seats are open for County Commissioner. Incumbent former Fall River Mayor John Mitchell is seeking another term. He's joined by newcomer Julie Catherine Ruggiero. Again, there are no Republican opponents, but Gregory DeMello is an unenrolled candidate running in November. Republicans in Fall River will experience a slim ballot selection this Tuesday. The only contested race will be selecting a challenger to face Senator Elizabeth Warren. Robert Antonellis, Ian Kane, and John Deaton are looking for the nomination. Mr. Deaton resides in Swansea. The other races for Congress, Governor's Council, every member of the local legislative delegation, and all county seats up for grabs have no Republicans running. Voters in the Libertarian Party can request a ballot, but there are no candidates who've qualified for the election. Only write-ins will be accepted. Back to the only local contested contest on the Democratic primary, the race for Fall River Register of Deeds. The Register of Deeds oversees an office that stores and organizes historical and modern land records for the communities of Fall River, Somerset, Swansea, and Freetown. Current Register Bernard McDonald was first elected in 1994 and is seeking his 6th term. Before being elected, Mr. McDonald worked in real estate and served as a Fall River assessor. He says his biggest accomplishment over the years has been modernizing the office to meet today's technological demands.
We used to bring in a document by foot or by mail at the counter. People would come in and record it. Now we have electronic recording, so the attorney can record a document from their office or anywhere they are at to any registry in the Commonwealth. There's 21 registries in the Commonwealth. You can do that anywhere. That saves valuable time and money, not only for the attorney, but also for the person who's buying or selling a house. I have a fraud alert system that's in place that is free of charge. You just have to sign up for it, put your email in, and if anything comes up with your name on it, they will alert you. I've put in all the records from book 1 to present book now. So you can, any image that we have is available online.
Former Swansea School Committee member and Selectman Attorney Christopher Carrero is also on the primary ballot. He feels the technology advances in the Register's office restricts access to material on mobile devices. He hopes to rectify that and also be an advocate for property owners and reduce their costs for using the registry.
The Register of Deeds has established his discretionary fee of $1 per page for an electronic document.
Okay.
So if your deed is 2 pages, you're going to pay $2 for a PDF.
Okay.
Right now, in Massachusetts, there is no place in terms of state government, municipal government, and county government that charges more than 10 or 15 cents per page for a paper copy.
Okay.
There is no reason why we're charging $1 per page for electronic copies. It's unconscionable.
Yeah.
If you need a copy of your mortgage, which many times is 36 pages long or more, $36 for a copy of your mortgage to download that, it's just unnecessary. What I would like to do is I would like to eliminate those fees for individual users and perhaps charge fees for commercial users.
Mr. Carrero says he feels the time is right for a change in leadership in the Register's office.
To be in office for 30 years and want another 6-year term to be in office for 36 years, that's indicated.
Be the age of 70.
Be the age of 70, exactly. I think that's just indicative of somebody that is complacent. It's just time for a change. It's time for new energy, and it's time for a new perspective. And I believe that I'm able to bring the Registry of Deeds into the 21st century and make sure that it's the best Registry of Deeds it can be. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm elected Register of Deeds, it will be the best Registry of Deeds in this region.
Mr. McDonald believes his steady leadership of the office warrants another term.
I didn't have a challenger in the past, and I would like to attribute that to the fact that I've done a good job. There hasn't been any issues over the 30 years that I've been there. I'm there every day when, obviously I take vacations and whatever, but basically I'm a full-time employee for the people who voted me in, and I take that, respectfully, and I enjoy doing it. I think the people of the district really should think about who they want to elect. Someone who's been there full-time, all the time, and taking care of business, or my opponent who is a lawyer, has his own real estate business, and is involved in other things. The job pays a full-time salary, full-time benefits, and I think I know I've been doing the job that I was elected to do, and I will continue to do that when elected September 3rd.
There's no Republican running in the race, so the winner of Tuesday's primary will be the presumptive winner. Jim Sewell, the president of the Preservation Society of Fall River, has passed away after a years-long battle with cancer. He was 59. He grew up in Bridgewater and relocated to Fall River in the 1980s, where he purchased a historic home and began his love of Fall River's architectural history. He led the effort to revitalize the Preservation Society and establishing the historic district in the Highlands. Mr. Sewell was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in April of 2023. He is survived by his wife, 4 children, and 6 grandchildren. We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News after this.
hot dogs and cool cats. Today with us we have Yoda. He is an 8-year-old domestic short hair. He was an owner's surrender, no fault of his own. It was just, they were having a hard time in their life, so they just wanted to rehome the cats. He's not playful at all. He kind of wants to be with somebody, he just likes to be pet. He does love to look out the windows. He's definitely a window cat. For kids, I feel like he'd be okay to live in a house with kids with 12 up. Want to come down and meet Yoda? I know he'd love to meet you. We're at Forever Paws Animal Shelter, located at 300 Linwood Street. We also have all of our contact information at foreverpaws.com. You see all of our adoptable animals. Definitely make an appointment to come meet Yoda. He won't disappoint you. Today with us we have Flapjack. He's roughly 11 years old. A hound mix of some kind, maybe a hound, maybe a lab mix. It's definitely a guessing game. He's definitely a mutt. Oh, he loves his snacks, but it's hard for him to say no to the right snack. That's why he keeps looking at me. Sit. Yes. Paw. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. But he's very gentle even when he takes the snacks. I think he would do good with kids in 12 up. Likes to go for walks. So he's definitely a great all-around family dog. He does good with cats. Doesn't mind dogs, even if they have a high energy, he doesn't seem bothered by them. So if you're interested in meeting Flapjack, you can come meet him at Forever Paws Animal Shelter, located at 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Mass.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Enjoy the long Labor Day weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.